My name's Natalie. I have 3 children. I was diagnosed with cancer of passive smoking, which means I've never smoked and I've never had a cigarette in my mouth. There's never any cancer on my side of the family. Yes, my husband did smoke and everybody did at that era. I had just come back from New York. When I arrived home, this other friend of mine from school came over all excited to know how the holiday was. Anyway, he said to me, "What's wrong with your throat?" He said, you're breathing. I said, "There's nothing wrong with it." He said, "Yes, there is." He said, "You're not breathing as well as you should be." I said, "No, I'm fine. He said, "No, well, I'm not going to go until you make an appointment at the doctor." So I did make an appointment the next day, which was a Tuesday. I waited for the x-ray in the afternoon and he immediately sent me to emergency at the hospital because my pleural cavity was absolutely full of fluid. Once I came out of the operating theatre, the doctor actually said to me, he said the cancer was diffused through the whole of the lung. So at that particular point I said to him, "Well, why not take the lung out? Because people survive, with one lung." He said, "The thing is, with your type of cancer and with the cancer being diffused through the lung, you can never get the whole lot." The diagnosis wasn't something that upset me very much. I accepted it. Since I've been diagnosed, I have been on 3 lots of chemo. And then in October, I was checked and the actual cancer had started to spread. So the doctor actually said to me, "Right, I'm going to put you onto this very good tablet that is having a lot of success, and it's a trial." I went onto that and I said, "Well, how long is this going to last?" And he said, "Well, it should last 18 months. So I thought, "Oh, well, that's okay, 18 months of good living and what have you." So that was in October. December, I went on holidays to England again, and I kept taking the tablet. And what it's supposed to do was to contain. The chemo is supposed to slow it down, maybe reduce the growth of it. The tablet is supposed to contain it. And so it's supposed to last about 18 months. On that 18th month, all of a sudden I started coughing. So I went to the doctor and he said, "Oh dear," he said, "we'll need to put you onto chemo again." And I have just finished that 3rd lot of chemo, and hopefully that when I see him in a couple of weeks' time, I'll get results saying that I'm well enough to go onto the tablet again, which might give me another 4 months or could even give me 18 months. It just depends on the growth of the cancer. Every cycle of chemo that I've had up to date, I have had no problems. There is one problem, and I think a lot of people get it, but once I found out, and that is constipation. The side effects of the tablet, the hair that I have at the moment has gone with the 2nd lot of tablets that I was on. The frizziness went, and with the 1st lot, the eyelashes used to grow inwards, and every 3 weeks I would have to get eyelashes pulled out of my eyes because they used to affect the eyes. With this cancer, people don't survive for a very long time, but with the chemo, the tablets, it has prolonged my life. I've been able to travel to many, many places, and now this is the 4th year. Next year will be the 4th year of since the diagnosis. Being a teacher for many, many years and loving it immensely, and just feeling that you give so much to the kids, and I was a bit disappointed about. That was the only reason I was a bit disappointed of not being able to go to school. And the doctor said, "Look, Natalie," he said, "no, it can cause a lot of stress, and it's not something I would advise you to do. So what I have done now is I just go on a voluntary basis. It's just lovely seeing the little people in grade 3 sitting there and knowing more than I do half the time, because some of them are so brilliant now. So don't give up your work if you're able to. Go back on a voluntary basis, because people love voluntary workers. They don't have to pay you, and yet they know that you do a good job. I've had 2 doctors caring for me over the time. There's a very, very wonderful lung doctor. Every time he tells me something, it always seems to be doom and gloom. But then when I go to the other oncologist, he's a complete positive. He says, "Okay, where are you planning to go now?" And I say, "Well, I'm planning to go to Norway." "Oh, that's very good," he said. I said, "I was just wondering, do you think it'll be all right to go?" He said, "What has the other doctor been telling you shouldn't go?" I said, "Well, he does say that." He said, "Go." He said, "You just go and don't stop, and just go and enjoy yourself, and we'll work around you." Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know what you could call it, they communicate with one another. And so when I came back from the trip to England, where he told me not to go anymore after I went to Jordan and Syria, he says, "Yes, I hear you've just come back from another holiday." I said, "Oh yes, lovely holiday," and tried to take his mind off that. But he has a little smile and a laugh, because I think really he knows that he said, "I've defied all odds." So he said, "Keep doing what you like." So I've got these 2 wonderful doctors, but they're both entirely different to one another, but both excellent at what they do. So I respect them and value them very much. Over the years, I've actually done skiing, I've climbed mountains in Machu Picchu, and I've followed Crusader trails in Syria and Jordan, and I've even done ballroom dancing. I think I've defied the odds because I just go ahead and do what I want to do in a positive manner. No one keeps talking to me about cancer. If they want to hear a little bit more about it, okay, I'll tell them what I know, and that's about it. But I think I just keep going. I mean, having 3 big holidays a year sort of keeps your mind going on what can I do next. Well, at the moment, I will be seeing my doctor on Tuesday and get some results of the last chemo, but I have already planned a trip to Norway. I tend to feel that one must challenge life, and if you don't challenge life, it is a little bit sad, because you need to look towards something else all the time. And so I've just lived by that, I think, without realising. I just feel there's a lot of living to do.